Well, hello everyone. This is Doug DiMercurio coming to you from Northern Colorado. Today what I want to discuss with you are some tax deductions that I've recently discovered that are available to most people. However, very few people know about them. So I'm going to reveal to you some hidden secrets, if you want to call them that, to cutting your taxes. Now, first and foremost, I guess I have a question for you, and that is, do you feel that you're paying Uncle Sam too much in taxes? I know just about everybody that I talk to feels that they are. One thing that I can tell you is that you are paying too much in taxes if you're an employee. In other words, if you receive a W-2 form and you're employed by someone else, and if you don't know what I'm about to share with you. What do you think of when somebody mentions the IRS? Is it this? Do you think of being shaken down? You know, every extra dollar being squeezed out of you? Do you think of money just flowing out of your bank account into the hat of Uncle Sam? Well, believe me, I know what that feels like. And I'm here today to help you alleviate a little bit of that stress and that concern about the IRS. Let me ask you this. Do you work full-time, and have you done so for 5 or more years? Because if so, you've probably paid a significant amount in taxes that you didn't necessarily have to do. Do you know what taxes are removed from your pay and that they're removed every time, even before you get your check? You realize that not only is there withholding taxes taken out from the federal government, but also the state, and also for FICA taxes, in other words, Social Security and Medicare, and that's taken out of your paycheck even before you get your check. Do you know how much that amounts to? Now, I don't know about you, but I really hate to see that because I am an employer and I have a number of employees, and I look at their checks and I see how little they get to take home compared to how much I actually pay out, how much they earn. I see how little goes to them compared to the amount that they earn and how much does go out of their checks and into taxes. Now, I'm sure you've heard the statement, it's not how much you earn, but rather it's how much you keep that counts. Now, how many of you have ever had to work overtime? You know, you look at working overtime. Do you enjoy doing that? This little cartoon here kind of exemplifies something, and I hope that my staff don't consider me this way. But I know in corporate America, this is often the mindset of what people have to deal with. So it brought to my attention that you've been doing a lot of unpaid overtime lately, coming in early, going home hours after everyone else has left the building. And I know that you're as concerned about the business as I am, but as your manager, I can't let this carry on without taking some action. So here's a bill for the extra utilities you've been using, lighting, heating, and a nominal charge for the use of the toilet facilities. You know, there is some humor to this. At the same time, you have to realize that a lot of corporate America, in a lot of cases, this is actually a true statement, that the corporations are trying to cut back wherever they can. And although they appreciate you putting in the extra time, they're struggling to maintain all of those bills, lighting, heating, utilities, and they don't necessarily like it for people to stay there before and after hours. But what are you going to do? I mean, you're trying to make as much as you can. You need to make some extra money. So if the option isn't there to work overtime, then, I mean, have you ever had to work more than one job? Have you gotten a second job? Only to find out that not only does your income go up with the second job, but so do your taxes. In a lot of cases, it's possible you'd even take home less on your paycheck from your first job, because by taking a second job, it kicks you into a slightly higher tax bracket. A higher percentage is withheld from your first paycheck as well as your second paycheck. But again, in this economy, we're all being squeezed and we all want to earn more. And I understand exactly what that feels like. Don't you feel like you deserve a raise? I mean, you need to earn more. You're being asked to do more with less. Do you feel like you deserve a raise today? Well, if I could show you how you can legally, honestly, and rapidly get an instant raise without having to get a second job, without working those additional hours, overtime, for example, and without even having to ask your boss for a raise, would that be something you'd be interested in? Well, anybody working a W-2 job in the U.S. or in a household where the primary income comes from a job that pays you with a W-2 can do exactly that. You can start taking home more money into your pocket, starting today, actually. Let's find out how. Let's play a little game here. A game called Did You Know? Did you know that by not having a home-based business as an employee, you're currently losing 30 to 40% of your income due to taxes? Did you know that by not having a home-based business as an employee, it's like losing $20 a day? Did you know that Congress and the IRS have recently passed new laws granting W-2 wage earners more tax deductions, but only if you qualify for them by owning a home-based business? I imagine you probably want to know what that is. As far as I know, there's probably only two reasons why you're not qualified. Number one would be as if you were never told how to qualify. Number two would be that maybe you have been told about it, but you still don't have a home business because you thought it would be too much work. What I'm going to do here is revert over to a short video produced by Ron Mueller. He's one of the foremost online tax consultants in the home-based business industry. And he's the author of a book called Home-Based Business Tax Savings Made Easy. When he wrote this book, it was reviewed by the IRS, and at the time that the IRS reviewed it, not a single change was required. In fact, not even a single change was even suggested for the book. So Ron really knows what he's talking about. I'm going to show you an abbreviated version of this video just to explain to you what some of these deductions are and how you can qualify to start getting significant tax savings today.
You're about to discover the number one secret to slashing your taxes in half. Yes, slashing your taxes up to 50%, legally, of course, and immediately. But first, just how big are your taxes? Do you know how much you're paying in taxes? And most people don't. Here's where you can get a good idea. How about if we ask what your largest expenses are in your household budget? When you sit down at the kitchen table once or twice a week or once or twice a month to pay your bills, what are the biggest ones? Well, for most people, rent and mortgage kind of ranks up there as one of the top ones. Car payments and gas certainly is one of the biggies. Healthcare costs, that's one of the largest ones for a lot of people. And meals and groceries, that's a real large one. That tends to be in the top four. But you know what? Are you ready for a shock? It's none of those. Your biggest expense is taxes. Taxes are costing you more than your living expenses, transportation, healthcare, and groceries combined. All of those combined is still a number lower than what you're paying in taxes. Taxes are literally bleeding you to death. The good news, though, is you can do something to slow down the bleeding. You can't stop it, but you sure can slow it down, and you can do it starting right now. The number one secret to slashing your taxes in half is to run a part-time business from your home, doing something you love. No kidding, a home-based business is the key to slashing your taxes in half. That's because the biggest tax breaks in America go to home business owners, bar none. There is no other category of taxpayer in America that gets more tax breaks than home-based business owners do. Who am I and how do I know that's true? I'm Dr. Ron Mueller, author of the bestseller, Home Business Tax Savings Made Easy. The more you know, the less you owe. A lot of people talk about special tax deductions for home business owners, but nobody ever seems to have any specifics. I couldn't find anything in bookstores, even online. So 10 years ago, as an investigative reporter, I spent a full year investigating home business tax deductions. And you know what? What I discovered totally surprised me. I discovered, first of all, that dozens of huge tax deductions had been approved by Congress specifically to encourage the growth of the home-based business industry. Now, I thought I was going to find out that any home business tax deductions were some quirk of the law or some clever lawyer finding a way to apply a tax break to home business owners, but that's not what I found. I found that Congress passed tax breaks specifically to encourage the growth of this industry. Why'd they do that? It's good for the economy. Second thing I learned was tax breaks are so big that almost anyone can slash your taxes by a minimum of $3,000 a year. That's a bare minimum. For most, the total tax savings are between $4,000 and $6,000 every year. Why so much? It's enough to cover all the costs of running your home-based business. You see, when Congress passed these tax breaks, they wanted to do it to encourage you to start and run a home-based business, and the way to do that was to give you enough tax deductions to put enough cash in your pocket to run that business. So the third thing I learned then was the amount of the savings, $4,000 to $6,000 a year, equals the amount of new tax refunds. So if you're going to be paying $4,000 to $6,000 less per year in taxes, that means your refund is going to increase by $4,000 to $6,000 a year. Then I learned something really interesting. Taxpayers do not need to wait until April 15th to get your hands on this new additional tax refund. Why? Because you can't wait until next April to pay the cost of running your business. You have month-to-month expenses, and you can't put them off until next April to pay them. So Congress put their money where their mouth was. They said that if they want to encourage you to have a home-based business, they're going to have to let you collect the money on a month-to-month basis, not wait till the end of the year. Finally, number 5, which really ties into what we just talked about, is 1/12 of your refund can be collected every month. So if you take a $6,000 refund, that turns into about $500 per month in refund. Why? Again, it's to cover the cost of your month-to-month costs of running your business. $500 a month cash, extra cash in your pocket, instead of waiting till the end of the year and getting $6,000, when it's too late to cover the cost of running your business. Home business tax refunds are good for the economy. We just talked about that. They're big enough to cover the cost to run your business, and they're refunded when you need the money every single month. But the question is, can you qualify? Well, what do you need to do to qualify? There are 3 requirements, as all Congress put on us to qualify. The first one is to work your business as little as 3 hours a week. They want you to work your business on a regular and consistent basis, minimum 3 hours a week. Requirement number 2, have the intent to make a profit. The key word there is intent. You do not need to make a profit before you qualify. Simply be working towards making a profit, and you qualify for the home business tax deductions. Number 3, keep decent records. That's it. That's it. Can you do those 3 things? Can you qualify? Can you work your business, or are you already working a business 3 hours or more a week with the intent to make a profit and keeping decent records? Well, congratulations. That means you can now give yourself a $500 per month pay raise. Yes, running a home-based business is the number 1 secret to slashing your taxes by thousands, and the secret to putting hundreds of dollars extra cash in your pocket month after month after month. And by the way, that's just the tax savings alone. That doesn't even include the money you're going to make in the business itself. If you do not have a home-based business, you are overpaying Uncle Sam by some $500 a month. That's about more than $100 every single week. Last week, you paid Uncle Sam an extra $100. You're doing the same thing this week, and you'll pay him over $100 excess taxes again next week, as long as you don't do anything about it. But we're going to change that.
But here's one of the best parts. With all of these major deductions, and those are major ones, but there are also a lot of minor ones, like the cost of your cell phone, the cost of your computer, the cost of your internet access, and so on. All of those are deductible expenses when you have a home business. But best of all, you can start receiving your refunds for those taxes immediately. You don't need to wait until April 15th to get those, because you can start collecting those refunds throughout the year. Now, Uncle Sam is paying you to have a business. And the way that you can do that is, once you've determined how much you will be saving in taxes, you can just increase the number of exemptions that are being taken on your current paycheck, so you can have less money withheld on a regular basis and start seeing extra money be put into your pocket with your very next paycheck. Now, you can qualify today. There's no reason to wait. Get started now. Once you start your home business, you are qualified, and you can immediately begin getting your big tax deductions. However, let me warn you, if you wait, if you put this off, the cost is huge. For the average person making $40,000 to $45,000 a year through a job, the tax savings to you would be anywhere, on average, it's going to be anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a year. So let's say on average it's $5,000 a year. What that translates to is about $100 per week, or $20 for every day that you go to work. For every single work day that you don't have a home business, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go stand at your kitchen window, open up that window, pull a $20 bill out of your pocket, and think about throwing that $20 bill out the window, because that's effectively what you're doing by not having a home business. Your new tax refunds begin the day your new business begins, not one day sooner. Where do you start? Well, if you already have a home business, congratulations, you've taken a step in the right direction. Let's make sure, though, that you are getting all of the tax deductions that you are entitled to. And if you're not sure of what all those are, or how to take full advantage of them, then go to this website, www.dougdemercurio.com/CEK. That's dougdemercurio.com/CEK. What I want you to do is put in your name and email, and then just watch this short video. It's only 10 to 12 minutes. It'll tell you a lot about what that is and give you access to additional tax savings information if that's something that's of interest to you. Now, if you don't have a home-based business, then I'm going to show you just how easy it can be to start a home business today. It doesn't require a lot of work on your part. I encourage you to start your home business today and start saving that $20 a day that you're potentially entitled to. But go to dougdemercurio.com/work-with-me. That's hyphens in between there, work-with-me. That'll explain to you the business that I've selected. It allows me to take advantage of the home-based tax savings, and it can do the same for you.